Big Raj gets up there with the card, the commissioner. With the 26th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State. What's your reaction?
Well, and I said this in the interview. I was, in a few weeks after that, I was definitely surprised. When they drafted up, I was watching the draft and thinking about which receiver might be there at that time, and I think there was a run on him there in the early 20s. I know the kid from LSU, who I loved watching, went, I think, to Minnesota in the early 20s. I knew the kid from Clemson was still there, and I enjoyed watching him as well. I didn't know maybe as much about him, and the kid from Arizona State as well. I think they liked him, and his teammate was with us, Manny Wilkins, a quarterback. So when they traded up, I was definitely a little perked up a little bit, and then I got a text because everything's so delayed. I got a text from my agent, marketing agent, who I love, and he said he just texted quarterback. And I was like, oh wow, okay. So I love scotch, but I've been drinking some sipping tequila lately as well.
Right.
And once I got that text, I went to the pantry. I poured myself, about 4 fingers, and I knew it was going to be one of those nights where the people are going to start calling, and there's going to be, hey, everything fine? You okay? I'm like, yeah, fine. Like, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't elated by the pick,
Right.
especially being one game away from the Super Bowl and feeling like we're a couple players away. But at the same time, I understand it's a business. I know, I know that's a reality. But I will say, I definitely, as much as people want to make parallels to certain things, in 2004, the Packers were 10-6 and lost in the first round of the playoffs. We were 13-3, and one game from the Super Bowl, won a playoff game at home. Obviously, won our division. A little different circumstance. Not to mention that Brett had talked about retiring for a few years before that. So, I don't. And I've talked about playing in my 40s. So, when people start talking about the parallels to this and that, well, I fell at 24. They traded up and drafted Jordan. So, like, I see the parallels based on age for sure. And I think it was important for me to go through that experience to understand really what he's going through and what he's going to be thinking when we go through a season together. But yeah, that's basically it. And I, poured myself some tequila and FaceTimed and talked to a bunch of people that night. And the next day I called Jordan because I just want to make sure he knew that, I know what he was thinking. I know what he was going through, and it's the last thing you want is to deal with any negativity around like realizing a childhood dream. So I just told him, "Congrats, man! I understand what you're going through, man. It's super exciting. I'm excited to work with you, which I am. And I understand it's a business. I understand the nature of the business, and not here abdicating my spot by any means. That's not going to happen. But I understand how the business works, and that's basically what happened."
So when you're sitting around just over the last few months, scotch, tequila, whatever, at some point, there's like a ridiculous decision that has to be made, because if you're just you and you can stay healthy, the team has to either choose about, we're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers, which sounds nuts, or we're just not going to play our first round draft pick. How does this end?
I think probably the former. I think that's probably what happens. Based on just the circumstances around everything. You look at just look at the facts. They traded up, they drafted him. I would say they like him. They want to play him. It's a different environment. In 2005, my first year we were 4-12. Second year we were 8-8. There wasn't a clamoring, to play me, because it was normal for young guys to sit. In the third year, 2007, we go 13-3. We're one play, we're overtime in the NFC Championship, playing at home against the Giants from going to the Super Bowl. Different scenario. Now I think quarterbacks are playing earlier. It gives some latitude for young coaches and GMs to play their guys. And I get it. I really do. Like, I don't harbor any ill will about it. Like, Was I bummed out? Of course. Who
Hmm.
wouldn't be?
Hmm.
Like I wanted to play my entire career in Green Bay. I love the city. I grew up there. Really, got there. I was 21. I'm 36 now. A lot changes during that time. Um, but look, I get it. I see it completely clearly, and I'm not bitter about it. It just kind of is what it is.
Last question, then we'll move on. The idea that you've conceded, maybe I don't end up with the same team. When you're late at night in the summer and you're sitting out on your back deck or you're lying in bed and it's just been a long night and you're you alone with your thoughts and you're picturing yourself with another team, how do you look in a Bears uniform?
Oh man, that's a tough thought right there, man.